On this episode of Bantha Milk Podcast, I decapitate Rob with a lightsaber.
Intro music.
Feels no good to be dead. Bounty hunting is a complicated profession.
Can you tell that we're in my basement? You're wearing a jacket. I'm wearing a winter hat. It's cold down here.
Yeah, you know, I'm typically a fan of the cold, but, you know, up in the Northeast, we have some of the bitterest cold we've gotten in some time right now.
Bitterest.
The bitterest, the most bitter of
Most
colds.
bitter.
It was a bitter winter. But we are, yeah, so we're bundled up, but, yeah. No, I would prefer to be cold and bundled than warm and sweaty. We already have someone in the comments asking where your beard is.
It's here.
And it is there.
I trimmed it.
Though it be it is there.
Yeah, I set the razor to the third setting.
That's
and then did it on
in
the
this
third
weather.
setting.
No, in this weather,
Yeah.
you gotta let that stuff grow.
Maybe if it continues for
when you go
next
outside
week.
in that wind, it doesn't just.
Oh my
bite
God!
you.
Yeah. Well, that's so fun story about that. When I was in 2009,
See, I
Nicholas.
graduated college.
I was going to say Nicholas was 12.
I was 20.
Okay, 20. He was 20. I was at the Phillies World Series game.
21.
21. When it was against the Yankees, and it was in October. It was a frigid night, and I had just shaved that morning with like a straight razor.
Oh, you were like a baby's bottom.
Yeah, so it was like super smooth. And anybody who shaves with, you're taking off a layer of skin also, like the top layer.
that's-
Like,
Did you do the
it's
whole?
yeah. So like I'm out there, and our seats were up high because it was the World Series. They just give you whatever they want to give you. And I'm like,
And you take it.
you take it because it's the World Series. So you're like, sure, I'm in. But I was like, oh my gosh, my face is so cold. So yeah, so I know exactly what you're talking about. But if I were to use a regular like electric, I don't think it would be as bad. But that straight razor, man, in the cold, don't do it.
Yeah, you know, I have not shaved with a razor on my face since probably 2011.
Okay.
I grew my beard in like 2016, but even in like the 5 years previously, I would never I just don't like shaving with a razor. So I always just used like whatever the buzz setting on my buzzer, like,
Okay.
and I just had it like a
Just had it
constant
like that.
stubble because
Yeah.
I couldn't grow a beard at the time. But now that I have it, it's going nowhere. But this isn't a beard podcast.
This is not a
Rob.
beard podcast.
No matter
this
how
is
much
not
you
about
want
men's
it to be.
facial hair.
No,
This is a beer podcast.
Kinda.
Sips of Sunshine.
Yeah, that's a new one. Huh?
Yeah, Lawson's Finest Liquids, 8%.
Oh, that's a big one.
And it's a pounder. So
That's a big one and a big one.
And
All
a big
right.
one. It's an IPA, 8%er, Sips of Sunshine.
Is there like a description of the flavor palette on
Yes, it says our lupin-laden Indian Pale
there?
Ale.
Lupin-laden.
Lupin-laden is packed with juicy tropical fruit character, bright floral aromas.
Wait, which tropical fruit character? Is it the Hawaiian Punch guy?
It is the Hawaiian Punch guy,
okay.
yeah. Because that's all the tropical fruits.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can't think of any other character.
No. Bright floral aromas and delectable layers of hop flavor. Sip mindfully, inhale deeply, and enjoy a tropical vacation in a can.
What
which
kind of
is,
flavor, what kind of aromas did they promise?
They
I just heard
floral aromas.
Okay, I want you to tell me it smells like flowers. When
Flowers. It smells like flowers and tastes like Hawaiian Punch.
All right, let's.
There's more. Lawson's
Okay.
Finest Liquids. Our name is our promise. We protect freshness.
That's a long
Even
line.
with reading glasses on,
It's a
this
hard
is still
one.
small for me. Yeah, it's a hard word. That's a tough word.
Would have got me too.
Yeah, freshness. There's two
It's
two syllables in there. It's tough for me. Oh my gosh! Do you watch Abbott Elementary?
I don't.
This
we
week,
discussed this last
yes,
week. I
this
think.
week they had the people from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia on.
Oh,
They were
okay.
teaching Charlie how to read. It was great. It was so awesome.
That must be wonderful. I have to watch
It was like bird. He was like Bayard. Bird. They're like, yeah, that's a tough one.
It's like the classic Big Daddy scene with the Hip Hop Anonymous.
Yeah, Hip Hop Anonymous. He gets all the easy words. Cold shipped, cold shelved, all to
Wait, cold
keep.
what?
Cold shelved.
Okay, that was not what I.
No, all to keep.
I don't want to drink
That's not
that
what
at
I said.
all.
All to keep every beer the freshest. From our breweries to your first sip, visit us at Waterfall, Vermont, or at Lawson's Finest. This is 19.2 fluid ounces. This is a pint, not a pounder, a pint. All right, let's see if it pops open.
Let's listen. Oh, I like that.
That was
pop.
a good one.
What's the smell like? Flowers?
Smells like flowers.
Does it actually smell like flowers?
Yeah, like florally hops.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not bad. And then
Oh, we can't even see the pour because we've got a what is that, a clay stein you're going to pour that into? Or
it, I'm just going to drink it out of
It's
the can
probably
for
the
now.
best.
Yeah, because I don't trust myself. But
That's fair. Talk to me. How's it feel? How's it taste? What do you like?
it's good. I don't get a lot of tropical. The IPAs, the hops always overpower everything else.
I mean, they really made a lot of promises on tropical on that
Yeah.
label.
It's good. Don't get me wrong. For an IPA, it's very nice. I
Not
like
a
it.
glowing recommendation.
Yeah.
But
No, I like it. I'm going to
have
drink the
a
whole
sip of
thing.
sunshine.
Have a
It's
sip of
good.
sunshine. It's good. There's an octopus on the cover of it.
It does have a pretty legit.
Or it's a sun.
can.
It looks like a sun. Yeah, it's a legit can.
legit
Got a little
can do
sun
bending.
on there. Yeah. Bam. It's good. I like it. I'll drink it. I'll drink to
We
that.
shall.
Speaking of the Steins, before we go into everything else. So about a year ago,
That's
you have one
365
you have
days
one
of
over
people
there
like that.
also. I thought I would be awesome and make us our own beer steins. Your handle did not break. My handle did.
Oh, is this for me?
It's for
Oh,
you.
thank
I don't
you.
know. I think we can keep them here and
Yeah,
just
that's
keep them
probably
on the
fine.
table.
Yeah.
But I tried to make our little Bantha Milk logo on the front. On the back, I tried to make the little Mythosaur
Where
skull.
did you do this?
In the kitchen.
Okay.
So I had a cup. I wrapped it all around the cup, and then I started to play around with it and stuff like that. And then,
Was this just you were bored one day and you had clay
yeah?
laying around?
So
or
like
was this a plan?
I mean, we've established the fact that I
Can't
have
sit
lots of
down.
ideas and can't sit still. So our art teacher has a kiln for pottery. And I said, "Ooh, can I try and make some stuff also?" She said, "Sure." So she had some extra clay, so she gave me the clay. So then I tried to make these fancy beer steins.
You
and
keep
then
saying tried.
yes.
Why do you keep saying the word tried to make them? They're right
because-
here. I see them.
Yes, they're right here, but I don't like what happened with the paint.
Okay.
So especially with these, for those of you that don't know pottery, I don't know anything about pottery either, except for the fact that the paints have different settings that they burn at, and it's just numbers. They have like number 3 setting, number 4 setting, number 5 setting, whatever. I got the purple paint that's underneath the orange was a number 5 setting, but she always fries everything, or not fries. She bakes fires. Fires is the word.
In the kiln.
She
yes.
fires everything in the kiln on 3s because all the paint that she has is 3s.
Pops them in a basket, drops them in the deep
Yeah,
fryer.
deep fried pottery, delicious. So then she pulled them out after I did the purple, and it didn't work. So then I got this orange instead. I was like, all right, let me just do this, whatever. So then this orange fires at 3, but it was very thin. So when I put it on, I thought it was going to be much more orange, and it wasn't. So they are constructed well enough. I mean, you can tell they're hand constructed, and they're nice and thick, and they're going to hold water. I already poured water into that one to see if it would hold, and it did. But I just don't like the way the painting is on them. So, and the other thing that's funny is it took me a year to accomplish it. I got way into it for a couple of weeks, let it dry, and then forgot all about it. And I was like, oh, and whatever.
Right, that thing. that
Yeah,
I did.
that's how I do things all the time. All right. Do we want to go over the? Yes, we do. Let's do this real fast. We do our plugs in the beginning of the show for all the rest of the Ears Up people. And Nick, did you know that we're on 2 different YouTube channels now?
I had no freaking idea.
Yep, we're on the Ears Up YouTube channel as
No
well.
way. How are reviews on there?
Good, very good.
All right.
But if you're listening to us right now on the Ears Up YouTube channel,
Hello, Ears Up Nation.
hello, Ears Up Nation, you're just seeing our image, our background,
Oh,
still image, and you're just
Oh.
hearing our voices. If you want to see our faces,
and they're not the worst faces.
They're not the worst
I mean,
faces.
There are better faces.
there are definitely better faces.
But there are worse faces.
Right. And you can see our expressions
Yeah.
as we're talking.
And-
now
and
you're
you
only
can-
hearing our expressions.
And you can see the beard that is so disgust on Rob's face. And you got to see it while it's here.
we
'cause
got
you
to
never
see
know.
it because you never know. Could not be here next week. It could be twice as long next
But then
week.
he can shave it tomorrow and it'd probably be back by next podcast anyway.
Probably would be. So if you're listening to us on the Ears Up YouTube page,
The ears uposphere, as I call
yep,
it.
and that's what he does call it all the time. Jump over to the Bantha Milk Podcast YouTube page where you can actually see our faces.
Yeah.
So see our faces over here on the Bantha Milk page.
And then you can see this lovely mug that we've
Yes.
been referencing.
That's right.
And yeah.
And that.
And
So
then you can comment. You should leave comments. Tell us
Yes.
what do you feel about the mug.
what do you think of the mug? Do you
what do
think
they
I did a
say?
good job or do you think I did a crappy job?
Do they say like, comment, subscribe? Is that what
Like,
they say?
comment, subscribe
Here's the
down below.
mug,
There's the mug.
right?
Look at
Here
it.
You can see that's a mythosaur.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's the
Bantha Milk
emblem,
logo,
right?
our
You
logo,
can
yeah.
almost see it.
You can almost see it in there. So, yep. So do that. Check us out on our YouTube page, not the Ears Up YouTube page,
Or
or do it on both. That way we
both,
get twice
yeah.
as many
and
listens.
share us
Yes.
with your friends.
Mm.
And share us with people you don't like that much either. Just share us.
Share us with anybody that you know that likes Star Wars. While you're doing that, check out Scraping the Vault, The Supreme Resort, Puny Pod, and the Buena Vista Boys.
The Buena Vista Boys, BVB. way to be.
BVB underwear. Oh, no. That's BVD.
Is there BVD underwear?
Yeah. They were tighty whities. I don't even know if they're around anymore. Actually,
I
now
don't
that
think
you're
so. I've never seen them.
Anyway, so check out all those other shows.
I have to admit, I'm not exactly up to date on the most recent trends and brands. of
Well, these
undergarments.
are not trend. These were tighty whities. These were not trendy underwears.
Those were trendy in the 80s.
In the 80s, that's what everybody wore them.
That was it. You wear boxers? Are you crazy?
Are you crazy? That's ridiculous. All right, so check all that stuff out. And while you're doing that, here's time for trivia with
Ooh,
Nick.
Trivia. I love that.
Yes. All right. So the first Mandalorian question for the 1 point question for Nick: how many Mandalorians rescue Mando from the Quarren? For a 1 point question, this one's pretty tough.
Yeah, from the Quarren?
Yeah. A 3, B 1, or C 5.
3.
3 is the answer. Ding, ding, ding. Very
Yeah,
good.
You know what's interesting is my TikTok algorithm, which is probably going to be gone in a couple days because I guess
Yes, because TikTok will be gone in a couple of days.
I'm gonna have to watch Facebook Reels like an old person. I just dropped my phone. Anyway, it's been channeling at me a bunch of Book of Boba Fett and Well, yeah, but but it's thankfully it's only like it's the best possible to watch Book of Boba Fett
Okay.
is via
The Mando
like-
part.
Well, no. If you're going to watch Book of Boba Fett, watch
Oh.
it in
In TikTok version.
because then they'll just take all the parts where something actually happens,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all you need to see.
Does
So I've
this-
actually been enjoying it, and then I know I'm going to go back and watch it on TV and be like, screw this.
Yeah. I'm guessing the speeder bike chasing has never
Have
shown
not
up.
seen it yet. Have not seen it yet. Anyway, so that scene popped up. The one I guess it's this one popped up on my algorithm the other day because all I can think of is this scene because he was fighting this giant water monster, and Grogu got sucked up into it in his little case.
Oh, in his little cocoon, yes.
Yeah, and then
oh,
the two
yes.
go in
On
to
the
get
ship,
him.
they were on that boat.
Yep.
The thing was trapped in the
ocean,
boat.
yeah.
Yep.
And
And the guys were trying to capture Mando to steal his armor,
Right.
so that yes.
And then when they got out, he was like, "Oh, thank you so much. You guys are the best." And then she takes
And she
off
takes
her
her
helmet.
helmet
He's
off.
like, "Oh, you suck."
You're not a real Mandalorian. I hate you. Yes. Yep. That was
So,
it.
there
Very
you go.
good.
TikTok saves the day.
There's TikTok.
TikTok saves the day. I said it off mic. I
You
don't
did.
do
We
that.
have to keep saying it over and over again so that the people know.
The microphone, Rob.
The microphone. What happened to the child when he uses the Force? This is a 2 point question.
What happened to the child?
What
when he uses the
happens?
Force?
What happens to the child when he uses the Force?
He falls on his butt.
Because he
He's just so tired.
he gets so tired. B, he cries. Or C, he turns red. You got it. He just so tired.
How great would it be if it was like a Red Hulk, Red Yoda
Oh,
situation?
yes.
He uses the Force and he turns into
and
Red
turns
Yoda.
into red. Yeah. That would be pretty funny.
Ooh, that was a good Red Yoda sound.
You like that?
We got to
That's-
sample that.
We'll have to sample.
Put a bookmark on that on our
There we
stream.
go. That was
We're at 1644 in the live stream.
okay. 1429 over here. So there
You
we
heard
go.
it, you heard
The child 1 point. What planet does Queel live on?
Queel, what planet does Queel live on?
I would have got this wrong.
Is it Navarro?
A, Navarro. B, Avrala 7, or C, Alderaan.
I think it's Navarro, right?
And you would be incorrect.
Oh, bummer.
Aralva 7.
Okay.
Arvala 7.
Arvala 7. Yeah, I don't know. I
Arvala
would not
7.
have gotten that.
I didn't realize that was the name of that planet.
I guess that makes a lot of sense because, that makes a lot. Because my thought was, I was trying to think if it was on the same planet as the Bounty Hunters Guild, but because that's on Navarro.
That's on Navarro,
and that is
yes.
not. So, yeah, that makes
And
sense.
it's definitely not Alderaan because at this point in time, Alderaan is...
Pour one out for one's
That's right.
millions of homies.
For all my homies on Alderaan.
Millions of them.
All right, and now, what did they say?
Billions and billions.
Here's the 2-point question. What is the name of Moff Gideon's scientist?
Frank.
Not
Dr. Afra.
Frank, no. Dr. Afra, Dr. Pershings, or Dr. Lobot.
See, now you got... So, who's scientist?
Moff Gideon's.
Moff Gideon's Dr. Pershing.
Dr. Pershing, yes.
Yeah, they throw Dr. Afra on there. They're trying to be tricky.
They were trying to be tricky. And Dr. Pershing's, our friend Jimmy, went to college with him.
That's
and
right, and he never came on our show.
Promised us that he would get him on our show.
Looking at you, Jimmy.
Jimmy, you let us down.
Jimmy.
And then he ignored him.
We would have been soaking in that big Disney podcast money by now.
Yep. Okay, so in a couple weird but true Star Wars facts from National Geographic.
Lay 'em on me.
During the Battle of Exegol in The Rise of Skywalker, do you know how many ships come to the aid of the rebels?
4,627.
There is
and
a
a half.
4,000 in there,
Is it really?
but there's a 10 in front of it.
10.4,000. Go on.
14,400 and exactly 48 ships.
I think that's what I said. I'm
That
pretty
is
sure
what you
that's
said.
what I said.
I'm pretty sure that is what you said also.
Just don't rewind the podcast and check
Right,
that, please.
yes. Characters from Star Wars and The Simpsons appear in the short film The Force Awakens from its nap.
I like that.
That was a Maggie. I think it was a Halloween special or something
I
like
got
that.
to tell you, I am a big fan of pretty much any Star Wars cartoon parody.
Yes.
Robot Chicken, Simpsons, Family Guy.
Family Guy.
Anything that's gonna
Family Guy
lampoon
did
Star
really
Wars.
good ones too.
Yep.
Robot Chicken was really funny.
Yep. Yeah, they were all great.
They were all great.
I wish
yeah.
I wish they would do an updated one now that we have the prequel or the sequels out. I would love to see a Robot Chicken.
Yes, redo it. Yeah, because I love their stop motion animation. Last one: a bartender in The Rise of Skywalker was played by the Academy Award winning composer, who I have his autograph right behind me, John B. Williams. Is that his middle name?
I don't know.
I don't think so. Who wrote the
Did you make
music
that up?
for
John
for
B. Williams?
all 9 Skywalker saga films? So they actually got him in there. I remember when that came out, talking about that.
I do too.
Yeah, that he was in there.
It's actually John T. Williams.
John T. Williams.
Towner. His middle name is Towner.
Towner. See,
What the
that's not
hell
in this
kind of a
book.
middle name is John
John
Towner
Williams' middle name is Towner.
Yeah. Anyway,
so now you know.
I didn't know before.
Now you know.
now I do.
John Towner Williams. All right, so we went through all that.
We did.
talked about all the people.
All the people.
We drank some beer. You got some.
Yeah, I have my whiskey. Cheers.
You have some whiskey
Cheers,
over there.
bitches.
It says "Cheers, bitches" on it. There you go. Yeah. So cheers.
There it is. Cheers. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's up?
Let's do a commercial.
And
And I want to also throw a nice shout out to
go on.
who filled in for you last week.
Oh yeah. So I
Ken.
was.
Ken Bishop, who filled in for you last week. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Thanks.
My mind
Ken.
went blank.
So I woke. It's funny because Friday I got ill. Sometimes I get sick and I should stay home and I get angry at myself and I'm like,
Okay.
I should stay home. I got ill. I woke up and said, I cannot do anything. I was sweating. It was 4 a.m. I was shivering. I did nothing that day. And so I was unable to come in on Friday for sure. So thank you for filling in. Ken
Bishop filled in for you. Yes, he did a great job. So, yep. So, because Nick could almost not get out of bed, Ken filled in and did a wonderful job. So,
thank you, Kenneth. Ken boy, Kenny baby, Ken Mingo.
there you go. So we are going to go to a commercial break real fast, and we'll come right back and talk all about episode 7. I think we're going to be in trouble. What is it? Is that not the exact quote? Something about being in trouble.
Cheers, bitches.
Cheers, bitches.
And we're back.
And we're back.
We're back and better than ever. It's Britney, bitch.
It's
It was going to be a PG-13.
I know. I'm going to have to put the little E next to this,
Demonetize.
the explicit.
We've been talking about dogs. You got 4 dogs upstairs. That's all.
4 dogs upstairs.
Anyway, so we hopping right in. Let's do this.
Let's
What are we
hop
doing?
right in there. I just want to make sure I keep getting. We're going to be in so much trouble. That's the title of it.
Before
All
we
right.
before we do that, there is one thing I saw that I don't know if you saw, that apparently they had recast Balin's skull.
Oh yes, I did want to talk about that
Yeah.
because I did take a screenshot of that to see if it has it been officially.
I haven't seen anything other than just, hey, this is what's happened. Like I certainly didn't see a StarWars.com
Yes,
thing about it or anything.
I haven't seen it on
Rory
StarWars.com,
McCann, right?
but I did see on a couple different Facebook groups, and once it's on one, it's on all of them. So
Sure is.
whether or not this is going to be true or not will be to be seen. But rumor has it, Rory McCann, like you said,
Rumor has it.
will be the new Balin Skull. He was in your show in the Kings Road podcast.
My show.
Yeah.
Isn't that your podcast?
It's my podcast, but you like it more than I do.
I love that show. Yeah.
Game of Thrones.
Oh,
He was in
absolutely.
Game of Thrones before.
He was Sir, or not Sir, distinctly not Sir. He was Sandor Clegane, the Hound.
the Hound. Yeah.
And he was also in, it's funny because we've talked about this movie on this podcast before too, Shaun of the Dead. Have you seen Shaun
You
of the
love
Dead?
Shaun of the Dead, yes.
So he was the, oh no, not Shaun of the Dead. It was the other one in that one. Remember there was the grocery guy who went yarp? I don't know if you remember that, but that was him. Anyway, so it's interesting because I'm excited about it if that's the truth, but it is interesting casting because they are not. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't see him in this. Like Balin Skull was a very elegant Jedi or a very elegant character, not a Jedi,
Yes.
obviously, but you know
Whatever
what I mean?
yes.
He wasn't like a big rough and tumble. Like he was, obviously he got his hands dirty and stuff, but he was like, I don't know. He seemed kind of like a elegant sort of trained, kind of wizened old man who, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see him do that and stretch his acting chops if that's the truth. But I would love to see it. I love him as an actor, and I obviously love Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and I'm looking at he was in Shameless also.
Yeah?
Only 2
I
episodes.
don't know that one.
That's a TV show.
I know of it. I hear people talk of it.
It's been on for many seasons, so it's got to be good. Although I think I started watching half the first season, and then I don't remember
Desperate
why.
Housewives has always been on for a lot of seasons. So
Doesn't
being on for a lot of
necessarily
seasons
mean
does
it's
not
good.
equate to it being good. I'm just saying.
You just threw my theory.
It's just like,
That's really funny. All right, so yeah, so I did read about that. That's the rumor mill right now. So it would be interesting. At least we know that they're not just going to abandon the Balin Skull character altogether. So
yeah, and I have, like I've said about my TikTok algorithm, I've also been getting Ahsoka clips, and that's one that every time I see one, I go, I got to rewatch this show because I remember it, like really enjoying it, and I keep getting reminders of these little plot points and stuff that, they left clues for and hints for, and I really want to see them continue to deliver on them.
yes. So 2 other things. The top 10 streaming results. Oh, this is now for January 10th. Okay, so this is the new week. But there's articles that say this show that we are loving. I'm loving. Are you loving this?
I'm a
Skeleton
big fan.
Crew?
Big
Okay,
fan.
good. Because I'm a big fan. And I was going to actually talk to you about where you would rank this right now. Ooh, look at this. Even better. Beautiful. I love it. But there were articles out there saying that it was getting worse ratings and lower viewership than The Acolyte. And then there was other articles that said it's on fire.
Right.
So on this Flix Patrol, which I don't know where they get their numbers from, but this Flix Patrol tells you how I guess in millions of viewers or minutes or something like that. It just has numbers next to it. how popular the shows are on all the different streaming services.
Well, I guess because the Nielsen ratings aren't a thing anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
not for the streaming stuff, but they still are on the regular television. It's just hard to see. So, like, top 10 movies on HBO. Joker number 2 is number 1. Joker.
that's confusing.
It is. Joker Folie à Deux
Ugh.
is number 2. Bless
I've
you.
heard only terrible things about that movie.
Oh, really? It's second most viewed on there. Top 10 TV shows on Netflix. Squid Game is number 1. Did you watch the second season?
I haven't seen the first one. My
Oh.
wife has been trying to get me to watch it, the first season, so that she can watch the second season.
Okay. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
I know the premise and I've seen bits of it.
Yeah, and so I watched all of the second season in one day or maybe 2 days. I'm
As
trying
you
to
do.
think. Yeah, I'm trying to think if you needed to see the first season to really understand it. Probably not. And I think if you didn't watch the first season, the second season would be more exciting for you because you didn't know what was coming, type of thing.
Okay.
Where, like, not that second season was a complete duplicate of the first season, but whatever. So then you go down to Disney, and top movies on Disney. Lion King is number 1. Deadpool and Wolverine is 2. Family Guy, the movie,
Didn't know that was a thing.
I didn't know that was either, is the number 3 movie on Disney+. Top 10 TV shows for January 10th. Now, this was number 3 behind Grey's Anatomy and Modern Family. Star Wars Skeleton Crew jumps to number 1
All right.
with 2 weeks ago it was in the 200s. It was like 256 or something like
wow.
that. Now it's 461. So a huge jump from last week to this week. Grey's Anatomy was still in the 300s last week. It's still in the 300s this week. And same with Modern Family. Actually, Dream Productions, which is their Disney show that's supposed to be like from Inside Out.
Okay.
But it's like a TV series from Inside Out. That was actually last week higher than Skeleton Crew. But this week, Skeleton Crew shot all the way up there to 461, which I love it. Bluey Minisodes is number 10. So
They're
I think,
great.
and regular Bluey. There's a Bluey and a Bluey Minisodes.
Yep.
So yeah, so I know
there's-
they're both being watched in your house on.
Yeah. So the Bluey episodes are 5 to 7 minutes long. The Bluey minisodes are like 3 minutes long.
So I mean, I get it. They're for little kids, but like. They're saying 7 minutes. You can't even stay focused for 7 minutes. We're gonna make a shorter show yet for you.
And do you know how many freaking episodes of Bluey there are, man?
There's
like 100 200 episodes. It's great. I love it. I'll take all the Bluey in the world.
There you go.
I would love a Star Wars Bluey. That's what I
That
would.
would be fun. I did
I'm
watch
down
a
for
little bit. I watched one afternoon of Bluey because I wanted to see what all the hubbub was about.
It's just like, it's not, the kids aren't annoying. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like some annoying thing.
Like
it's just,
Caillou, where he
yeah.
was so annoying.
I'm so thankful I didn't have a kid when Caillou was the thing, because anyone ever tells
Trey
me is
loved
how
Caillou.
terrible Caillou is.
Trey loved Caillou so bad.
Yeah, that's all I hear. But so it's just like, it's like a regular family. Like, they do regular family things, and
They just happen to be dogs.
Yeah,
that can
and also,
walk on
like,
2 legs.
it's literally for kids and parents. Like, there are like, it is for the kids, and you see that, but they know the parents are going to be watching it. And it's not just like these jokes are for the parents. It's like these are the things you're going to encounter as new parents.
Oh, okay.
And it's not weird. And this might be a good way for you to
Right.
really subtle things like that. And you see these things and you're like, they
You're
see
like,
what
that's
I'm
good
dealing with.
parenting.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm
Exactly.
gonna copy that.
exactly.
Yeah, because I remember like a lot of the shows that I watched with my kids when they were little, and there were jokes in there for the adults that
Right.
the kids didn't get, but that way it at least kept the adults entertained.
And they do have a little of that for sure. Like, there's definitely, like, there's an episode where it's called Whales, and the parents are exhausted, so they're just laying on the couch, and the kids are oh no, yeah, the dad becomes the ship and the mom becomes the whale, and anyway,
And the kids are like sitting on them.
yeah, and like playing, and they're like, but the reason they're exhausted is because it's New Year's Day. And the night before they were
They were
wasted.
up until
and like
I would love to see dogs drinking.
And well, they had said, like, how do you know? They said something about, oh, you were up, weren't you dancing on the table? And the mom was like, how did you know that? And she's like, oh, I was FaceTiming with so and so.
Oh, that's
like,
so funny.
so like, it's stuff like that where it's like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Anyway,
Star
Star Wars.
So before we continue, I wanted to ask you. I ranked
away.
There's 7 live action series that they have come out with since Disney Plus. The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Andor, Ahsoka, The Acolyte, and Skeleton Crew.
Right.
I ranked, we'll start with 7. Start at number 7. So which one do you think is, in your opinion, the
Boba.
worst?
Boba Fett.
Okay. I had The Acolyte at 7.
Okay.
All right.
I could see why you would say that, but for me, I would say Book of Boba Fett.
Okay. And then I had Book of Boba Fett at 6.
Acolyte.
Acolyte at 6. Okay. And then 5. I had, just because I like the other one so much better, Obi-Wan Kenobi at 5.
Interesting. That's like my 2.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So just because I like that character so much.
Obi-Wan. Okay.
And like
Not baby Princess Leia?
exactly no. It was actually what's the fake Jedi? That guy. Yeah, it was like
Bob?
Yeah, Bob the fake Jedi. So no, I don't know. And it's just all over my algorithm right now. And every time something pops up, it reminds me of it.
And I want to go back and rewatch it again because I did enjoy it, but I think I enjoyed the other ones more.
Sure. And I get that because it's hard kind of placing some of these for me.
Yeah. So you have The Mandalorian, you have Obi-Wan, you have Andor, you have Ahsoka, and you have Skeleton Crew. Those are the 5 that are left.
Right. Mandalorian is my 1.
Mandalorian is my 1.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Just like I could still, yeah. And again, because of my TikTok, it's like all of this is fresh in my memory, and so like I'm getting these shots of these like again. I never in my life would have thought I'd see a freaking Mandalorian fight with them in jetpacks. Like that was my dream.
Yeah.
As a
Oh
kid.
yeah. And you did it with your action figures all the time. Yeah.
100%.
Oh yeah. 100%.
And forget about that. And then all of a sudden, one of them has the dark saber.
Uh-huh.
And like
Yeah.
I've been kind of thinking more and more recently about the mythos behind like the Mandal, and like because part of this thing is like, oh, she saw the mythosaur, and like that's fabled to like it means she's fated for greatness and stuff, and like I've recently started remembering how much of this is not sci-fi, but it's fantasy.
Yeah.
And like if you really like strip everything back and you just take everything that's happening but put swords in their hand instead of blasters, and you put them on like horseback and stuff, it's completely like like it's so cool that they've managed to make this like, Knights and Dragons sort of almost RPG like world feel like that, but it's in space.
But it's in space, yeah.
So like, and that's part of why I like Jedi too, because like the Jedi Knights when I was a kid, like Jedi Knight wasn't like it was like a Jedi Knight.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And like it was always been kind of like that for me. So that I think that's why Mando and Kenobi are my top 2, just because of that relationship.
Okay.
I think Skeleton Crew would be 3.
Okay. I have Skeleton Crew at 3 as well.
It was that between that and Andor, I thought, but like Andor, I guess would be no. See, that's tough. So it's either Skeleton Crew or Ahsoka. They're battling for 3 and 4.
Okay.
And then it'd be Andor.
Okay. So I have Andor too.
And that's tough because like it's hard because I really liked Andor.
Yeah.
So it doesn't put anything against that.
Right.
But
Yeah. For me, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
they're very
close. It's a very close 2, 3, 4, and 5. It would almost be like 2, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4.
2, 2, 2, 2, 2.
Yeah.
6,
7. Yeah. Yeah. So I had Andor at 2. I had Skeleton Crew at 3. Ahsoka at 4. And then Obi-Wan at 5. And that's just because like Ahsoka and Obi-Wan are down there just because I like the other 3 so much more.
Sure.
And I have watched the other 3 multiple times.
Right.
Where
yeah, I mean
I haven't gone back and watched Andor or
you can
Ahsoka.
gauge your enthusiasm for it if you're genuinely urging to go back and watch a second and a third time versus when you're not.
Right.
Sure.
And like I'm willing and thinking about, I really should go back and watch Ahsoka again. I really should go back and watch Obi-Wan again. At no point in time in my head am I going, I should go back and watch Book of Boba Fett again or Skeleton Crew. So, okay, I just wanted to see where your 7 were compared to my
Acolyte,
7.
you mean.
Acolyte. That's whatever I said. Yeah, Acolyte. Yes. So yeah. So Mandalorian 1. At home, what do you think? You tell us out of those 7, what is your order? Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett,
here.
right down there in the comments
In
down
the
below.
comments section. Oh, here it is. Ooh, right here.
Right over there.
Oh.
Yep. All right, so now we're gonna finally 30 minutes in. We are going
36,
to
actually.
36 minutes in. We're now going to break down episode 7.
Break it
down.
We gotta make that. Into
That's a
thing.
good
That's
sound.
it
Yeah,
right
there you go. Well, the skeleton crew. We are going to be in so much trouble. So the opening scene, they're in the woods. The parents are in the woods releasing the beacon.
Yeah, and we got our Star Wars nod, right? Or we have to put this in every franchise Star Wars nod.
Oh yes, I have a bad. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
And it was very E.T.-esque.
Yep.
For anybody who's... If you haven't seen E.T., go watch E.T.
Like,
Greatest.
maybe I just didn't do my homework enough, but like, did they specifically say we are going to be heavily influenced by the 80s when they made this?
I don't think they came out and said it, but they're saying it by heavily influencing.
I'm just like,
yes.
I'm trying to understand if this is like a Berenstain Bears situation and this is all just coincidence or like,
No,
it's gotta be that they're
yeah,
leaning
like
into the
they're
Goonies, right?
totally the writers of this are totally. I mean, when they first came out, they said, it's the Goonies. It's the Goonies of Star Wars.
So they did say that.
They were even saying about Goonies.
Okay.
Like other people weren't, they were, and then
I'm
everybody else
glad.
jumped on that.
Yeah.
But since then, I mean, there's so many 80s references and 80s Easter eggs, or as Ken said last week, nostalgia nuggets.
Nostalgic nuggets.
Nostalgic nuggets,
I like
yes.
that.
So all these nostalgic nuggets from things that happened in the 80s, like this.
Nos
Nos Nugs.
That's it.
Nos
All
Nugs,
these
man.
Nos Nugs.
Yeah. So this whole scene was just like when E.T. first landed, or when the ship first took off and left E.T. behind. And even the little beacon that they did. When I first saw it flying up, I'm like, dude, that's E.T.'s ship.
It's also reminiscent of the end when they're like searching for him through the woods with the flashlights.
Yeah, with the flashlights.
That used to be guns.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they digitally put flashlights into people's hands when they were guns for that movie.
Oh, no.
Did you know that?
No. So if you watch the original one, they had guns.
Well, some of them had guns at some point, but they digitally went back and put flashlights in.
Oh, I did not know that. That's really interesting.
There was some internet upsetness about it.
I understand.
Yeah,
People get upset when you change the movie.
people get upset.
People get
You
upset.
probably could have just stopped right there.
Apparently, people get upset.
That's
Have a great
what
night.
happened. Anyway, we got
So,
old
yes.
people running through the woods.
Old people running through the woods. They then have a stun gun relay race.
Yeah, and I love how like anytime we've ever seen someone stunned, they drop and crumple to the floor.
Right.
But somehow, like 4 out of 5 of them, like land on their knees and just sit there for 2 seconds, waiting for someone to grab the beacon.
Grab
while
the
they
beacon
fall.
instead of completely collapsing. It would have been better if they like threw it up in the air and then the second person
Yeah.
like jumped and grabbed it. That would have been really funny.
Yeah.
But yes, so then finally the mom gets it off, and then I have a bad feeling into the opening credits. Then we're on the kids hanging out on the ship, the new fancy ship, which I can't believe I'm the only one who has noticed. I did say this last week, but you weren't here. The jets, the propulsion on the ship, when they ripped the outer shell off last week,
Right.
they went from red flames to blue flames.
Yeah,
So the
that's
ship
true.
is now blue flames behind.
Interesting.
So, yeah. So the kids are running around playing grav ball. Somebody said it might even be slap ball, but I want to know where the ball came from, because why would a pirate have it? And we didn't see this ball at all.
You think it's like just someone had it in their pocket? Or like,
Yeah, but it was...
like they found it on the
They
last
found,
planet they
yeah,
were
I don't know.
on?
But anyway, so they're playing ball, running through the hallways. Everybody's having a great time because we're on hyperspace back home because KD last week was awesome. Oh, I know how to start the ship. Beep, boop, 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 beep, boop, boop, boop,
Yep.
boop. So it was great. But anyway, Wim is sad again.
Like it's been like every episode he's like, I'm sad. I'm sad we're going home. Oh, that's right. Things are hard. We should go home.
Yeah.
I'm sad we're going home.
I'm sad we're going home.
This is a really interesting and difficult experience. I miss home. I should get home. I'm sad we're like make up your damn mind.
Make
kid.
up your mind, kid.
Red War. The
yeah.
Star War.
That's right. So he's sad, and then he has to go back and take his assessments.
Yeah.
Because he's going to do so poorly on his assessments that he's going to be one of the people who are mining the gold deep down inside,
Yep.
instead of being the people that get to count the gold up on the top. And then Fern comes up to him and says, "I told you I'd get us home," just like Han Solo said, I told you I would get us home. So they stole that line from Han.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I wrote, it was a really fun adventure. Everybody is happy that they did it, but not so fast. Then we click to the
didn't say the
pirates.
magic word.
You didn't say the magic word. The pirate ship shows up. I like how as soon as it comes out, they see the gas, and Brutus is like, "This isn't a planet. Kill him."
Yeah, right. Like, well, we're here. We might as well not try.
Yeah, nope. It clearly doesn't look like a planet.
He brought us to a place that exists, but doesn't look like the place.
There's something here, but it's clearly not what we want. So kill him.
I don't see any gold. It doesn't look like a gold planet.
If this is a gold planet, I would see gold. I just see green gas.
Yeah.
Nope. So then I said Jod's a good politician and smarter,
Clearly.
very smart, to realize that the planet's inside the gas.
You big dummy.
You big dummy. He said,
Oh, we have Obi-Wan Kenobi in our chat.
"Oh, that's very
And he
nice.
says hello there.
Hello there."
That is something Obi-Wan Kenobi might
That
say.
is what Obi-Wan would say. So then Jod says it's hidden. He asked 33. 33 comes back after getting zapped in 2 episodes ago. Now we see 33 again. He's like, 33, tell him about what...
Yeah, why was he just walking around?
Because I don't know.
Like,
because
he was his pirate.
It was,
He
yeah.
was like, get him. They zapped him. And then all of a sudden, he's like, hey,
Hey,
it's
33.
me. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, what's up, bro? I'm just hanging.
Yeah, I know you're...
We
Because
talking pirate code?
Jod's been in handcuffs the whole time, but yet they restart 33 and just keep him in the corner
I
somewhere.
guess so.
And he says, hidden inside the endless storm. So then Jod says, oh, I'll go myself. And Wolfman's like, nope, we'll send somebody. So they were snub fighters. Glorian Shard had some. He from the Mandalorian. The other pirates that were fighting the Mandalorian, they were
Sure.
the same type of ships. And then they send down the poor guy.
He just wanted a glow weed farm.
He just wanted to have his own farm.
All he wanted. He could have had a whole ocean.
He could have had a whole ocean, but instead, I'll do it.
Instead, he got zapped.
He
all
gets
hell.
zapped up as Ravager 1, which was apparently a very deep cut from the Old Republic game. They were Ravagers were some of the call signs. I don't
All
know.
right, I'll check that out.
Yep.
I didn't get it, but that doesn't
yeah.
mean it ain't the thing.
And then after he gets killed, Jod says, this is a good line. Maybe we should send in
Maybe we
another.
should send another. Jude Law has killed it.
He has killed
Honest
it.
to God, he has absolutely
He's been
killed
so
it.
good. Maybe we should send in another. And then now Wolfman's had enough. Nope, put him in the airlock. And it was very interesting. The pirates, the rest of the crew, were not releasing him.
Yeah.
They were like, but we like him. He's given us a lot of character and a lot of...
The other guy's kind of a jerk.
Yeah, Wolfman's
like-
kind of a jerk.
Even when like
Brutus.
even when he sent in that guy into the storm, the guy was like he went on the radio and he was like engaging into the atmosphere now, and Brutus was like, shut up, just do it. It was like, really, bro? Just,
Yes.
Like he's checking in with you. And he
He's-
called you captain. He's
he
being
called you
respectful.
captain, yeah.
You're being a jerk.
You're being a jerk. Stop being a jerk.
I'm glad that freaking Jod shot him.
Jod did what he did. Yeah, me too. He
earned
deserved
He
it.
had it coming.
So now you know Wolfmen are bad. Bad
Wolf,
people.
Hey. Let's not let this one wolf man be a slander on all wolf men.
Well, look, teen wolves are good.
That we know.
Right. But once they
Once they ascend to adulthood,
to adulthood,
you don't like an adult wolf.
oh, you know what would have been a great scene is if he was standing on top of the ship at one point, like in Teen Wolf.
That would be good.
That would be really good. All right, so the pirates don't do it, and then I said Jod's mom because this woman has saved Jod
Yeah, who
twice
is this
now.
woman? Who is this random woman that just has his back?
She totally has his back.
I guess it is his mom.
Yeah, she's
It
like,
would be actually pretty great if we found out that was his mom.
that was his mom. It would be great. So she sees a new ship. There's a new ship. And then Jod says, "That's it. This ship is the key." And he's like, "Release me." So then they did release him. And then we go to the kids. Back to the kids. I did like the edits. Very fast, quick things. So you're seeing the kids' joy, and then the pirates' not joy. And then
bad.
the kids' joy and not, and then the kids scared, and then the pirates not, so it was fun. They go, oh, that's what the barrier looks like from the outside. Then the pirate ship's tractor beam brings them into their ship. And Jod tells Brutus, I like this, they're walking together to go to the ship.
Yep.
And Jod's like, the crew loves me. And Brutus is like, the crew loves plunder. And he's like, no, the crew loves me.
They got the hots for me.
They got the hots for me. So then Brutus starts walking up the thing. Come out, you cowards. And I did not see this coming at all, even though they foreshadowed it 2 times.
Yeah.
We saw this claw twice before.
You're right. I hadn't. Yeah, you're right.
Like the kids came down on it the one time.
Yeah.
It did something else another time before this. I forget what else it did. It
I
did
didn't even
something
thought
else.
about the fact that they had shown that. That's
Yeah.
Chekhov's gun, if that's anything.
That
right
is
there,
a Chekhov's
man.
gun right there.
Wow.
And then suddenly, bam! It comes down and
Yeah, literally just like the claw. I have been chosen.
Yay, that claw! And then Jod takes his handcuffs off all by himself.
Oh yeah, he uses the tinglies.
He uses the tinglies. He uses his Peter tingle.
Just Peter Tingle. That's right.
And then he's suddenly
Suddenly Seymour. Sorry, go ahead.
there. You go. Nothing wrong with a little
Little shop.
Little Shop of Horror. Yeah, exactly. Jod starts his deep turn to being very,
Yeah.
very bad.
Big heel turn here.
Big
heel turn. Like this is the moment. It's
Yeah.
like, all right. It's like, he's in the ring. Him and the Undertaker are staring at Triple H. Like,
Well, yeah.
we gonna get you. We gonna get you. And then
Yep.
all of a sudden,
it's the Undertaker and Kane brothers,
Right.
And they're
they're facing it against
They're
Triple H.
facing
And
Triple
then
H.
Kane all of a sudden grabs that table or
Uh-huh.
that steel chair and slams Undertaker in the face.
Yep. And then suddenly now Kane is the,
He's the bad
big
guy.
daddy now.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and that's what happens. Jod
Yeah.
walks up to him and just kills
and it's
him.
the beginning, and I don't know what they're gonna do here. Like I don't know what the long game is. We and I think everyone kind of was under the assumption that this would be like regular Star Wars, the like scoundrelly rapscallion, no good, rough around the edges smuggler with a heart of gold that,
Right.
despite not wanting to, eventually does the right thing. And like that was looking like what was.
That's
gonna
what
happen.
it looked like he was going to,
And that's not looking
No.
like what's going to happen.
Although
which I like.
There were many signs, now that you're saying that I'm thinking back, where he never, like, there were signs where he showed a little bit of heart, almost like the Grinch.
Right.
Where, like, a couple, 3 episodes ago when Wim was crying,
Yeah,
and
when
he's
he sat
like,
down and chatted.
okay, I got to sit down and chat with this kid. So you're like, oh, maybe he will be the Han Solo. He'll say he's going to leave, but then he'll stay. But there's been more times, like when they were in the gold room,
Right.
and he turned on the kids. I enact the pirate code, and I went challenge the captain to death. But then he had that little bit of heart there. He's like, just submit, and I won't kill you. And you're like, okay, maybe.
Yeah, and he's been very threatening to these kids.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna chop your family up and stuff like this. But like, he's never really. I mean, aside from shooting the coyote man who like almost killed him,
Right.
he's never really shown any like sadistic tendencies. You know what I
No.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
like you think about a Sith who's just like killing like
Aimlessly, yeah.
He doesn't do that.
No.
I mean, but we also didn't see that scene.
No, where
he
got
like-
the Iapis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe we'll find out next time that he's like some real like sadistic dude, but he doesn't really come off sadistic.
No.
He comes off as opportunistic and selfish.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. There's still wiggle room and there's room for him. I hope it's not like some full throttled redemption story because
there's only
him.
one episode left.
Yeah.
And I can't see a full throttle redemption
No.
story
But
in one
I
episode.
also don't want like we've gotten enough of that.
yeah.
I don't want to be done with this character, but I also would like a more morally complex character than
Just
bad versus
pure
good,
evil,
black
yeah.
versus white.
Uh-huh.
Like, just so I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But they've definitely taken him a different place than I thought.
yes.
But anyway, he shoots Wolfman.
He shoots Wolfman, and then he becomes the captain of the ship. And then the beacon.
Look at me. I am the captain now.
I am the captain now.
That's
So then the beacon's flying out in space. He tells them, go in. There's 4 scared kids in there.
Right.
Take them to the brig. Instead of taking them to the brig, they take them
just-
to the mess hall. They take them to the kitchen. They're sitting around the kitchen table.
They don't have like handcuffs on.
No,
They're
there's
not
no
in a
hand-
cell.
Yeah.
They're just chilling with everyone.
They're just chilling. So then, and I did like that the next time you see Jod, he now has his helmet on
I
again.
loved that.
Yeah.
Honestly, and I was kind of bummed when he got cracked on the face and it broke. I loved that too, but like I thought it was so cool. Like this guy, he's like a pirate king, like with his but that's what he was trying to do. Like I'm back in my glory.
I'm back in my glory.
I've got my lightsaber by my hip.
It was almost like we said it in episode 1 when he first went to the safe, and there was one credit in there.
Right.
What's the Marvel one that I really like? The one with this Star-Lord. It was almost like a Star-Lord mask. Like, come on, man! It's a what he doesn't call it a call sign.
It's a cat. I don't know. Yeah.
I forget a name, something name, whatever it was name. Not
name?
villain name.
Code name,
maybe something. Yeah, maybe code name. I don't know. But anyway, so it was like, yeah, now I'm back in charge. I'm wearing my fancy
persona.
helmet. Yeah, I got this is my mask. So then the parents all have a message for the kids. Everybody hears it.
It's very cute and adorable.
Very cute. We can't tell you the exact coordinates, but you find a Republic emissary, and they will take you here. Now, little do they know, Republic emissaries have not been around for hundreds of years now. There's the New Republic. There's all this other stuff. There ain't no Republic emissaries
but
left.
Thankfully, apparently, Jod is a Republic emissary.
Jod is. Look at that. We didn't even know that.
He's right there. So.
Hey, it's Spaceballs. He finds out that he actually is royalty.
That's right. It's true. I'm a prince.
I'm a prince.
What ring? I got it at the bottom of a Crack a Jack box. Anyway, go ahead.
So in the story, though, they find out that Neil's brother lost a tooth, and he got a datery, which is another way of saying credits that we heard Qui-Gon Jinn say a long, long time ago. And then they said you weren't supposed to find out about all this until after you graduated.
Yeah, so I guess like you're a kid, you're not allowed to know anything, and then you graduate, and it's like, hey, guess what?
None
of this is real.
This is all. There's no Santa Claus. What?
That's a big. There's no Santa Claus right there. Oh, well, not that there isn't a Santa.
Of course, there's a Santa Claus. What are you talking about?
Sure.
Who brings the presents? Duh. All right.
Anyway.
So then, Wim's heard enough. He gets all fired up and he says, "Attack!" And he goes running at a pirate.
Leroy Jenkins.
And well, that didn't go very well.
No, neither did Leroy Jenkins.
Neither did
It never
Leroy
goes
Jenkins.
well.
And so then they're like, "Hey, you can't take our ship. We found it first." And then I love 33 was starting to maybe if you cut a droid's head off, they decide that they don't like you as much.
Maybe.
Because he was like, well, due to pirate law, you cannot have two ships. And the kids almost claim the ship, but then Jod, in the perfect bad guy manner, covers his mouth over before he can claim it, and then Jod claims the ship.
Except
Fern,
where Fern uncalls
unclaimsies.
Unclaimsies,
I claim
that's right.
unclaimsies, and I claim the ship.
And of course, we know that the pirate code is more like guidelines.
Yeah.
And Smee's like,
Close
"That's
enough.
close enough for me."
And then Pal knocks Jod out. I love that punch, and I love the metal sound.
Yeah,
Bing.
that was a legitimate moment where I went and I laughed. Like I thought that came out of nowhere, and it was great.
It was
a really
great.
good moment.
Yes. And then
SM-33 is definitely my favorite character.
so good.
Yeah.
And then he turns his forearms into shields, and he just starts running as all the other pirates are shooting him. And I love the next thing you see, they're all just laid out on the ground because he knocked them all out. He took them all out. And then the kids get in the ship, and they start to flying away. And then Urkel's like, "Captain, where are you going?" And he's like, "Captain, where are you?" "Oh, send some fighters out after it." So then they all go into the green cloud.
And somehow Jod got back on the ship.
Somehow Jod is still on the ship. Yes.
Because he was off the ship. The ship took off.
They took off without him.
He got back on somehow.
So some people are saying he force jumped, he force ran.
Sure, but maybe show us that.
Yeah, that would have been cool to show. Like at least show us like the cartoon where you see the piece of paper that just
That's
flows
fine.
up in the air. That's fine. Do that.
But how did he get on there?
Yeah, come on. How? Yeah. So
maybe next episode they'll show us.
And even if they were on this ship, which they weren't, but even if they were on the ship when Smee punched him and knocked him out cold, don't you think somebody would be like,
"Let's toss him off the
ship before we go?" So I don't know. So somehow he manages to get back on the ship. The fighters get destroyed as the cinder continues. We see that giant disc that when we were at the other planet at Aramis, whatever, I think it's something like that.
Something like that.
We saw
At
these
something.
at something. We saw these giant.
At Adelon? No.
No, at I don't know.
That's
At
not it.
Amanda? No, that's not it either.
Amanda, go on.
But we saw the giant discs floating out there.
Right. Yeah.
Now
they
we
were
know what
all
they were.
busted up
All
and broken.
busted up.
Right.
Yeah. So now we know what they were.
Yeah, these are. I guess they create the storm.
They create the
and
storm.
then they zap the hell out of you.
Anything that
I-
goes
and
in
I-
the storm.
I also love that, like, clear. I guess there's like a beacon or something on the ship because when that ship passes by, they change from red to green.
yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like boop. It like scans it.
Mhm.
It's like, oh,
and
you're good.
and
You're
like
cool.
when they launched the ET thing, she put that little beacon
Yeah.
in the middle of it, and that was to get it past that. So they have more of these little beacons around, whatever. But so the ship is an At-Aden Mint ship, so it was interesting. And then they were able to go right past the protected beacons. Like you said, they turn green. Then autopilot turns on. And then Fern has a great line. My mom totally lied.
Yeah, we're in.
We're
We're
going to be in so much trouble.
Yep.
And then suddenly Jod lightsaber turns
Bruh.
on.
Just his kappa was dictated
Yes.
from his head.
Smee was like, "Don't worry, kids. I'll take care of this." No, I won't.
He won't.
No,
And,
you
know,
won't.
It was shocking for sure, but I am
Mhm.
thankful. That's a droid.
It's a
He'll
droid.
be
We've
back.
seen
It's
their
fine.
heads come off.
They
We
come
even
off.
saw
It's fine.
C-3PO's head
In
came
pieces.
off.
We
In
saw
pieces.
most of his body parts come off.
He was in many different
Yeah.
parts.
That being said, it was stone cold.
Very stone cold.
He just like chopped that
It
head
was-
straight off.
That was more direct than Luke Skywalker in Mandalorian, or was he Mandalorian Book of Boba Fett when he went and took all the fighters?
That was Mando.
It was Mando.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. When he what were they? The
Those dark troopers.
Dark
or the-
Troopers. Yeah. When he decapitated and killed all those Dark Troopers, it was worse than that because it was much more direct. Boom,
It
done.
was just one and done.
Swipe. And then Jod really doubles down on this heel turn.
Yep. He's like, yeah, not only did I cut this robot's head off,
uh-huh.
but I saw your parents.
Mhm.
I know what they look like. And I have a
Now I know
lightsaber,
what your parents look
and I'll
like.
chop them up.
I'm not afraid to chop them up. I'll
you got
cut them down right in front of your eyes. I'll chop them all down for you. I wrote down here he has mommy issues.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he needs to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
He needs a therapist.
Yeah.
So people are saying that it was Form 7, his lightsaber skills.
Okay.
Which is also your favorite count, Dooku.
Oh,
His
yeah.
Jedi skills.
Well, what is that one? Is it Ataru or Makashi?
I thought that was Form 7. I thought that was what he did.
Yeah, what it has a name.
Oh, I don't know.
Hold on.
Are you going to look it up?
Yep.
Okay. So then while you're looking that up, we'll go back to him threatening, sit down, shut up.
Juyo.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. So so he was saying, to the kids, shut up. And then Wims suddenly gets tough. Stop being mean to him. Not him, all of you. You all suck. Shut up, every one of you. So, yeah. And then
Yeah, he really got mean to kids.
he got mean to kids real fast.
Like, you're like 50 years old and you're like really berating 10-year-olds.
These kids were riding their bikes all over his lawn for the past 50 years. And
He
he's
wants
like,
them
get off
your
my
damn
lawn. Yep. And then people also said that the way he held his lightsaber was the same way we saw Anakin hold the lightsaber when he killed all the younglings.
Oh, that is kind
So,
of reminiscent.
Reminiscent of that, yes. And then then the parents are being asked by still not the supervisor, but just another one eyeball droid.
Random droid.
Why did you do what you did?
I thought we were going to see the supervisor when all of a sudden the droid was like, oh, hold on. and
Hold
we
on.
got
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I thought the supervisor was going to come in, but then instead I said that we heard a recorded message from the supervisor. It did not seem
Live.
live.
Yeah, it definitely had a vibe of, please stand clear of the closing door.
That's right. And it was also very interesting to me. No one knew what was going on.
Yep.
So
And everyone came to look.
Well, no,
watch.
they were just like, hanging out on the lawn. They're playing frisbee.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah, I think they were
Okay.
just playing on the lawn, playing frisbee, relaxing.
And then all of a sudden they turn around.
and then all of a sudden the lawn starts lifting up on them.
Yeah, I too would stop and stare.
Yeah. Not if I was standing on it though,
No, I
but
would
I
move
would.
and
I would move
stare.
and then
Yeah.
stare. Yeah, be like, what is going on?
And then I would call my insurance company and file a claim.
Yes, definitely do that because I broke my leg falling.
And my lawn is
My lawn is now destroyed. Yeah. So they were standing in line. They did focus on the ship being bolted down also. So keep that in mind.
okay.
When the ship landed, a retaining
Clamp.
clamp went all the way around it.
You're not
That's
leaving.
going to come back. That's the
Chekhov's gun.
Chekhov's gun
Yeah.
for next episode. And then he said, "You must be the visiting Republic emissary." He's like, "Yes,
Yeah,
I
that's
am.
me.
That's
You got
me.
it.
You got it. I sure am."
I'm the emissary. Can't you tell?
Can't you tell? Look
I'm
at
in
the way
my-
I'm dressed.
I'm in
Don't
my
I look like a
emissary
Republic
gear.
emissary? This
You
is
can see my chest hair.
this is official
Very
emissary
emissary.
clothes. I have taken the emissary bath
That's
3 months ago.
That's
Can't you
right.
tell?
as is customary.
As is
tradition.
customary. And then also, Jod says, I picked up these 3 waifs I found along the way.
Waifs.
And then the droid immediately recognizes them and says, "You've been outside the barrier. That is
Bad
not allowed.
children."
You've been bad kids." Yeah, and then I wrote down the droids are in Mint protocol. Like, we have to take you to the Mint. Let's go. You're the emissary. Come on down.
Yeah, and they're like, I guess these children you found can come.
Sure, they can come too.
Like they go down into this place that I guess they weren't supposed to know about with thousands of vaults filled with gold. And they're like, yeah, kids,
Yeah,
just,
we'll
just hang
bring-
tight with us.
Yeah,
while
just
we do
come with
this.
us. It's okay.
We'll take long.
Yeah, even though I know you left. You're bad. You're a bad
See,
kid.
now, this is where there's a huge departure from the 80s. Because I got to tell you, when I was a kid, late 80s, early 90s, my dad would leave me in the car all the time when he ran into 7-Eleven.
with
or
the
something.
windows up.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
He-
and his cigarette
Oh,
still in the yes.
That was no problem. You can't do that now.
No,
These kids, these are 2000.
These are
kids.
2000
Like,
kids.
They
need
should
to-
have been
yes.
left on the ship
Mhm.
and like
in space.
if they're
Yeah.
lucky, we crack the window.
Yep. If you're
I'm
lucky, but no, you come with us.
And Lord help you if you turn those lights on while your parents are inside.
I remember as a kid, my dad had a conversion van,
Sure.
real nice one. It had like the fancy seats inside. Now, it didn't have the airbrush on the side like the 80s vans did. This was like, it was done by Craftsman, the like camping company.
Sure.
So, like in the 90s, they made classy versions of the 80s
course.
fancy
Of course.
ones. But I remember my parents went in to the mall. They went in for something, I don't remember. And my brother and I were like, no, we're going to stay in the car. So you could like crawl through the seats. So we crawled through the seats as people walked by. We were pushing on the brake.
Oh my God.
So the brake lights would come, and then people were coming around, and they're like looking, like what's going? And then we like hid in the back, and the windows were tinted, so they couldn't see in. Oh, good times as a kid, but you couldn't do that today.
No, and see, I distinctly remember like one of my core memories as a child is being like, my dad's like, all right, I'm going into the store. It's like literally at a 7-Eleven. It's not going to take long. He goes in, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to be silly. I'm going to hide. So I hid in the like between the front chair and the back seat. And he comes back and he just lays into me, yelling at me about how like people are going to think he's trying to steal me.
Oh,
How
steal
dare
you?
And then literally someone called the cops.
No way, really?
Because they saw him yelling at me and they thought he was telling me to get down.
To
and
get
hide.
down? Oh my gosh, that
Yeah.
is so funny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you did not. That was not you didn't sit down that night.
No, there was
No.
there were some words.
Yeah, and that was the other thing you can't do now. You can't beat kids the way I used to get beat. Also,
Yeah.
so yeah, good times.
Yeah.
We grew up in a great area. Yeah,
70s.
70s, 80s, 90s. They were the best times.
Best hits of the 70s, 80s, 90s, and today.
And today,
on WEOK.
isn't it crazy that Metallica is now on the oldie station when it wasn't even on the pop stations in the 80s? Like that was like, whoa.
Do you know what's playing on TV Land right now?
Oh God! Don't even tell me it's like Seinfeld and
Friends.
Friends.
How I Met Your Mother.
We're so old.
Yeah, man. What was the other one that really threw me for a loop? Anyway, so I mean, it sounds crazy. You know, in the '90s, it was Gilligan's Island, which was 30 years
Yeah.
beforehand.
Well, I also love
Friends is 30 years ago.
He didn't even think about it, but what was the one with Fred?
I Love Lucy.
No. It was in the 80s, but it was supposed to take place in the 50s.
Happy Days.
No, that was in the in the 90s. It was supposed to take place in the 50s.
Oh, Wonder Years.
Wonder Years.
Mm-hmm. What would you do
Yeah,
if I
if
sang
you were
that
to
tune?
do a Wonder Years today, it
Yeah.
would be the 2000s or something
Well,
like
didn't
that.
they
Or
do a Wonder Years?
they did like a remake of it or
Yeah.
whatever. But like I'm
It
just
was-
saying,
it was
like
just the years.
the
yeah.
years, yeah, the distance from that to, and you
But
think
it's-
about how much the 50s to the 80s or even the 90s have changed.
Sure.
How much development there was.
Well, I don't know, man. This is, I guess, maybe Star Wars related, whatever. But I do a lot of thinking about technology and cosmos and stuff, and I think about how long humans have been around
Right.
doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
150 years ago, we were on horses, and today we have a rover
Yeah.
on Mars.
Yeah, I mean, just think like my parents' time, maybe my grandparents for the most part, they went from horse-drawn carriages to rocket ships going to the moon
And Mars.
and Mars.
Yeah.
Now we're sending people to, or sending things to Mars.
Yep.
But yeah. So in the last 100 years, humans have been around for thousands of years. In the last 100 years, we have had such technologically advancements. But you think about even like the 50s to the 90s, what happened. But then from 2000s to 2025, the only thing that's really been different is like technology has just gotten smaller.
Well, you even see it in like fashion. Like I saw something about like, you know, you look at like people from the 70s and you know this from the 70s. 80s,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
90s, you know. 2000s kind of still look like people dressed today.
Yeah.
There's some like early 2000s, there's some 90s, but like the last 20, like someone brought up like you watch season 1 of The Office and they don't look like.
They don't look that much different than,
they're wearing
than now.
clothes
Yeah.
that kind of we wear today. And so like there has been, I don't know what it is, but like 20 years, 30 years ago is not the same as
Yeah.
it was in the 90s. you
Yeah,
know?
like you look, if I were to pull out my yearbook, I mean, the girl's hair was
Yep.
that, we called it the wall, like,
Yep.
psst,
Yep.
you know? But from 2000 to 2024, it really hasn't gone from all these things. The 70s was, the long whatever, and then the 80s was really big. The 90s was just a big front.
Yeah.
But then 2000s, it's all been similar since
Yeah,
the
it's
all 24,
20
25 years of the 2000s. It's been very similar where,
And it's interesting because that kind of coincides with the internet, like when the internet
Yeah.
happened. Like it's suddenly the internet happened and all of a sudden the entire world became homogenized.
yeah.
Like everyone is doing the same thing. I feel like before the internet and you didn't have like everyone looking at people from all over the world, you were able to make more unique. I don't know. It was just there was
Yeah. And even like I remember in the early 90s, it was the early 90s, I went to my friend's house who lived in Upper Darby, just on the other side of Philadelphia. In Bensalem, where I grew up, everybody wore the ankle socks.
Sure.
In Upper Darby, everybody wore high socks. And so, like, I'm walking around Upper Darby with short socks on. My friend took me to some party, and they're like, look at his socks. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, this is how we all...
Trends can only travel
Trend-
so far
yeah.
and fast when you don't have the internet.
You don't
to
have the
spread
internet
them,
to push everything.
So like,
like
Upper Darby was in this.
yeah.
That's really interesting.
It was, and it was the same, whatever. I went back to Bensalem, everybody had short socks.
Yeah.
It was just a weird thing. Like, I just remember that, like, I was like, what?
Yeah,
So-
it's because you figure trends still continue to move,
Mm-hmm.
but they migrate much slower when you.
Yeah. When there's no communication between all these areas.
It's like next week on MTV, you realize, oh wow, Cyndi Lauper is wearing that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, over some time, maybe people start wearing something, as opposed
Yeah.
to like, hey, we got into school today. Last night at 4 a.m., freaking PewDiePie did this thing, and now everyone's doing this.
Everyone's
freaking
doing that thing. Everyone's singing that song.
Yeah.
Everyone's, so. Yeah, hey, this is our nostalgic nuggets from
right.
Nick and Rob about the
Nos Nugs.
Nos
from Nick and Rob.
Nugs. There we go. All right, so Back to Star Wars. Jod says as they're going down, I need to speak to my other ship, and they ignore him.
Nah, man.
They're in there like, this is what you do. So then they go down into the vault, and
I think we're gonna find out next episode that Jod is in a little over his head.
yes,
Yeah, he doesn't understand exactly everything at play right now.
Because they're not gonna. So the vault, massive, enormous.
Yes, over 1,000.
And there was 1,139 of these vaults.
Okay, what was that? Because that's a specific number.
THX 1138
Yep.
was George Lucas's first
I
movie.
thought so. Yep.
So it was like a nod to that.
I knew there had to be like some sort of.
And it was
thing with
also
that
like
number.
that movie was all about machines taking over.
Right.
So that's another hint that we're going to find out that the supervisor is a droid.
All right,
Yes.
Yeah, you were mentioning that. I guess
So then Jod says they go down
and
to
especially now, I'm sorry to interrupt, but like especially when you're like he's saying, well, let me talk to him. I don't,
Yeah.
better him than some droid.
Yeah. Oh, that was the other thing. I wrote that down. Better him than some droid. And then he says he does say we're gonna have to talk to the supervisor. You're gonna have to talk to the supervisor about that. So now we know it's going to be a droid. So now we're arriving at the vaults. They're the size of an Amazon warehouse.
Yeah.
And he says, how many of these are there? 1,139. Jod is so happy.
Yeah.
He's
I just love how we just see all the credits just start to roll through his hands,
I
like
was
that,
like-
which kind of bad CGI on them.
a little bit,
But it was all right.
But it was also funny. I said he did his best Scrooge McDuck impression
for sure.
I was
back. He's just making gold fairies.
He was practically swimming, and it was really funny. And then the parents come down in a hover lift.
And they're like, "Oh, hey, my kids, let's help."
My kids, and this was cute.
While a pirate just bathes in gold.
Right. Well, they didn't know. I mean, the parents didn't know about that. They just, whatever. So they come down. I loved all the kids jumped into everybody's arms, and then Wim and his dad are like, "Should." Oh yes.
You good, bro? We
You good? Can we?
Hug it out.
And then you see so they're hugging, and then Jod comes back.
He's like, "Hey, remember I have this sword."
Hey,
Just
he
in case
smiles.
you forgot. Yeah, you're right. He always does this like, ha.
Yeah. And then that's
He's a
it.
drama queen, though.
Yes, he is.
He's like that. Like just even with that speech he gave, it's just this thing is like I'm putting on the damn.
I'm
show.
putting on. You're gonna see me pull out this lightsaber. Look at this. So yeah, and that's how it ends. And
black. So we'll see you next week. Have a great week.
have a great week. Yeah. So I think he's not ready for all of these, and he's also not a good enough Jedi. When all of these stun robots, I have a feeling the stun robots are going to get to him. Because
Hey.
there's way too much gold. He can't fit it all onto his ship.
No.
Is he going to just, you wait here, I'll be back
just take a
17
bunch of
times.
trips.
I'm going to take a bunch of trips. Fill up my ship. I'll be right back in
And like,
20
is he
minutes.
expecting like these droids? He's just be like, all right, I'm gonna just take this gold now.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, I'm the emissary. I'm going to take it. Okay, here you go. The fact that they focused on the ship being locked down,
Right.
that's going to have a problem.
Yep.
He's not going to be able to kill the family. So my guess is he does something. I think they're going to stun him. Somebody's going to stun him. They're eventually going to get him stunned. Then he's going to get a meeting, or maybe the supervisor makes an announcement. Republic emissary, please come here. Whatever. I don't know. But we have one episode left. What do you think is going to happen? I don't think he's going to be able to get out. I also don't think he's going to shut down the fog so that the pirates can
Right.
get in.
I don't know. Those pirates parked right outside the fog make me think that they're getting in somehow. Like, I don't know how, but I don't know why they would park them out there and leave them there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like it's just too convenient that
Unless
they're right there.
if they can somehow get the beacon, which has the chip in it,
Right.
because they did focus on here's the chip to get past
Right.
the thing, maybe they find that beacon and then realize.
And he even said, like, find whatever is on this ship that lets us through and rip it out
and
put
rip it
on our
out.
ship.
Yeah.
So, like, that's already an idea that's
Mm-hmm.
out there that's possible. So I would not be shocked if they found their way onto the planet, or else at the very least when Jod gets off the planet, like, they're an obstacle for him in somehow. But I'm more and more tending towards what you had mentioned about a droid being the supervisor. I don't know where we're going from there, though. I don't know what the end game is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't see the end game either because I mean they could very easily. They don't obviously they don't need the gold.
Right.
They could say take it all. We don't care. Like
got
we
thousands of
leave
vaults
us
on it.
alone. You have
You can
thousands
take this
of
one vault and we'll be fine.
Yeah,
And you'll
like-
be rich forever.
rich forever. And like honestly, I was just listening to I don't know if you ever watched the TV show American Greed on MSNBC. It's great because it's all about people who decide I'm going to be as corrupt as I possibly can. I'm going to do all this stuff and I'll never get caught. And they always get caught. And
Of
then they
course.
always. But this one guy, the one I just listened to, his dad was, I forget the term, but the dad was in charge of this woman's family had hundreds of millions of dollars.
Power of attorney?
Power of attorney. And he had like power of attorney over it. They didn't use that term. They used something else, but whatever. So the dad was in charge of making sure that there was one woman left. She was living in an old age home in like Jamaica or something like that, whatever. But make sure that her money was taking care of her until she passed away, and then the rest of it was going to go to charity or something like that. The guy was also a lawyer. The dad was a lawyer. The guy was a lawyer. He didn't really want to be a lawyer. He wanted to be more than that, whatever. The dad dies. He winds up being in charge of it. He convinces the other people that are in charge that they should take $50 million of this out so that they can invest it in things to make her more money and to secure her money.
Okay.
Instead, he takes the $50 million out and just spends it all.
Sure.
Because that's what you do when you now have $50 million. He was buying,
I got to tell you, Rob, if I had $50 million, I'd spend some of it.
even if it's not your $50 million. Sure, why not?
I got bills.
I got bills, yeah. So he like bought his friend a $2 million jet. He did all this, and he was telling people that it was for the good, but it was just for him. He went and he had a $600,000 a year salary. So, you know, us people who don't make that kind of money.
Wait, you're not making $600,000?
I am not, even with all of the years of teaching that I have under my belt.
$600K yet?
Not
Man.
yet. No, I know.
Maybe next year.
I should have got my master's. Then
That's
I would have
right.
been
Then
able
you'd be
to.
at 600,
I'd be
750.
easily. But yeah, so he's making $600K, and then he still wanted more, and he wanted more. This is the same thing. This one vault, the way people are clamoring over these Republic credits, like this one vault alone will be 5,000 times what he'll ever be able to spend.
But he wants more than
But he wants it all.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be his downfall,
Yeah.
is him trying to get it all and figure out how to get it all out.
I mean, the bro could stuff his pockets right now and get the hell out of here, and he'd probably be rich for the rest of
And
his
he'd be
life.
fine. He'd be fine. He doesn't need $50 million. He could do fine with $2 million and be happy. But he's going to try to take all 1,139 volts out of gold credits. And also, once you do that, you know, it's like diamonds. Hello, did he learn nothing from the De Beers family?
I guess not.
If you flood the market with diamonds aren't worth as much as they are. So,
Yeah, and you know, it's weird, too, because, you know, these are technically, like, are they mining it or are they making it? Because these could be like these new synthetic diamonds that girlies are like, I don't know, nobody bleed for that. I don't want it. I don't know.
yeah, that could
People
be.
like their blood on their diamonds.
They do like their blood diamonds. Blood diamonds are much more valuable and much more, because you know that somebody worked hard for that.
And like you could get the exact same thing for much, much cheaper. But there are people who are like, nah, I
No.
want mine from the earth.
Yes.
I want mine from the earth.
So you could get a better one,
Nah.
even clearer.
No, I want it from the
I
earth.
want it from the earth. So yeah. So I have no idea. I think obviously this isn't going to end well. I hope there's a second season.
Yeah, I don't want them to see him like kill Jude Law off or anything.
Right.
I know he's a big paycheck.
And I don't want a cliffhanger. I want this arc to end.
Give me an end to the arc, and then give me the spark of something next.
Yes.
Don't give me to be continued next season.
Right. Don't give me him and the supervisor with a gun, him with a lightsaber, and then roll credits.
Right.
I don't want that. I want this arc to end. We only saw 2 of the 9 hidden planets.
Yeah.
We don't know what the other 7, if the other 7 are all destroyed, or if At-Aten is the only one that's still left. So Jude could take all this money, or a lot of it, and then go try and find, because he got the coordinates for the other ones. He was standing in that tower.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But we're not the writers, so we don't have to worry about that.
That's right. That's Dave's job.
That
I
is
think Dave
Dave's
Filoni
job.
is the
No.
writer for this
The
anyway,
2
but
writers I really like these guys. The
Yeah.
guys who wrote it. They're doing a really, really good
everything's been
job.
great. Even when the writing is kind of clunky, it still works.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're dealing with kids and you're trying to do stuff like it's going to be a little clunky every now and then. But no, I think it. We got 1 episode left. The first couple episodes had me kind of, but the last few have really kind of brought it together for me.
Yeah, I was hooked from the beginning. I'm sorry. I know you weren't.
No, it was good from the beginning. The pacing at the beginning was a little off to me.
Yeah, I can see that.
But now that these are out, and again, it's easy. It's different when you can see it all as one big picture. Those complaints are largely eradicated.
Yeah,
my-
Christopher Ford and John Watts are the 2 created by.
Ah,
So they're the 2 main guys, 2 created by, written by, and also, I'm saying her name wrong, Ming John Weisner. She also wrote 2 episodes.
nice.
And then based on Star Wars by some guy, Jorge Lucas.
Sí, claro.
Yeah. So he gets credit for it also.
That guy.
Yeah. Yep. So I really enjoy Christopher Ford and John Watts' writing. Christopher Ford is also known for Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Good one.
Robert and Frank, he wrote the screenplay for. He wrote The Clover Hitch, screenplay for Chase's Walking Skeleton Crew, the
I've heard of that one.
Cop Car, The Fuzz, Clown, Our Robot. It's like a robot cop cartoon type of thing. I don't know. Anyway, I enjoy their writing. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm really happy with it. It's a huge turnaround, giant 180 from The Acolyte. That's for sure.
Let's hope it continues that way and we
Yeah.
get another season of it. But
Yes.
We'll come back at you next week with our finale discussion.
Finale. Or in
and
French.
Finale.
Final.
Finala.
Finale.
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 Uh-huh.
Whoa, whoa. Oh, appropriation. From all of us here at Band the Milk Podcast headquarters, we have spoken.
We have spoken.